Coach is going to be joining us in 10 minutes here after Herdline News with Joy Taylor, which is very exciting for me. So Bruce is a very, very funny guy. He's been to these combines forever. He retired. He's back. Jameis Winston got that eye surgery now. Hopefully he can see. So we'll see what happens there. So Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones' son, said yesterday, I haven't spoken to Dak Prescott's agent since September. It's interesting about this. Stephen Jones basically came out there and said, we haven't talked much about this stuff. I do think there's two things interesting here. We're getting to a point in the NFL, we're reaching a saturation point in the NFL where almost all of these first-round and early second-round quarterbacks, they're working. The bust rate has plummeted. They're all working. They're taking their college offenses, bringing them to the NFL. They all work. Arizona had a quarterback issue. Well, they solved it. And New York Giants had a quarterback issue. Well, they solved it. And as long as Brady signs for 2 more years, he will in New England, and Breeze signs for a year or 2 in New Orleans, he will. That'll happen. We're getting to a point, folks, we're running out of teams that Dak could go to. The Cowboys are now essentially negotiating against themselves, which is bad business, especially in a salary cap business. This year, after the draft, because now Miami's going to get a quarterback, Cincinnati's going to get a quarterback, the Chargers are going to get a quarterback. My guess is Indianapolis is going to get a quarterback. Carolina, where they fall in the draft, they may play Cam for another year or 2. Roll your eyes. They may tank a little bit, move, and not just depend on Kyle Allen and see what happens next year in the draft. We also have 2 stars next year, Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, Justin Fields, Ohio State, who are going to go number 1 and 2 in the draft. Mark it down, it's done. So between all the quarterbacks now, and I'm not counting Jordan Love, who I think is a franchise quarterback, or Jacob Eason, who I'm up in the air on, but he'll make it in the NFL. We are reaching a saturation point. There's just not many teams out there. If you go to next year, you know who you're looking up right now? Next year, you got basically Washington's a little wobbly, Chicago's a little delusional, and Jacksonville. And that's about it. So on the Dak thing, are the Cowboys simply negotiating against themselves? And with that, lucky us at the NFL Combine, veteran NFL coach Bruce Arians is now joining us via the Coward Global Satellite Network. All right, Coach, first of all, I love having you on. I absolutely love having you on. You're one of the smart, funny guys in this league and one of the real honest guys in the NFL. You've been to a lot of these combines. Go back to your first combine, Bruce, and this year's combines. What has changed for guys like you?
About 5,000 media members, and everything's on television. I was a running back coach for Kansas City Chiefs back in '88, and it was just the players and the coaches. That was about it.
Can you have paralysis by analysis, Bruce? Is there sometimes overthinking that occurs here?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. The worst thing you can do is fall in love with the combine. You can fall in love with the tape, but don't fall in love with the combine.
There's a lot of things at the combine. One of them is an interview. Does the interview matter to Bruce Arians?
Oh, definitely. That's really the only reason I come.
Wow.
It's the first step in the process of getting to know a guy. You see them on film. Are they going to fit your scheme, but are they going to fit in the culture of your locker room? Explain
that to me, Bruce. What do you mean fit the culture? What does that mean?
Football's got to be really important to guys for us. They got to be smart players. They got to love the game. The type of guys you got to throw out of the building, not go find them to get them into the building. So if they're that type of player in college, they're probably not going to change.
Bruce, your reputation is you're a mentor. You're a teacher. Teachers have to be patient. You have been patient with Jameis Winston. He's a wildly productive kid, but he makes some mistakes. How long does Bruce Arians, the mentor, put your arms around Jameis, and when does it become tough love with Jameis?
Oh, if we stay in this direction, it'll be really tough love this year. I mean, there was a lot of it last year. I thought Barry Leftwich did a great job with him. Clyde Christensen, his deep ball accuracy was tremendously improved. Still, some of those decisions we've got to fix.
I've noticed something. I've always followed college recruiting, Bruce. It seems like we've got more talented wide receivers than I ever remember in my life. Maybe it's because kids, they look at the money they're making. I don't know what it is, but I swear to God, this year there must be 50 guys. Is that kind of a fundamental change for you in this league now?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing, a lot of kids that used to play basketball, that they know they're not going to the NBA. They're playing wide receiver now, and they're 6'4", they're 6'5", they're running tremendous athletes that you didn't see 20 years ago playing that position.
Bruce, is there a unit or a position that concerns you going forward? You're only as good as what college football gives you. Is there a lack of players at a certain position that concerns you over the next few years?
Yeah, I think the fundamentals of offensive line play, you're getting guys that some have never been in a three-point stance. They've never been in a huddle. They never heard a quarterback say a snap count. There's so much teaching that you didn't have 10 to 15 years ago with offensive linemen.
We have 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the NFL draft this year coming into the draft, and then next year there could be a couple of franchise kids as well. It feels like to me, Bruce, and you're known as a quarterback whisperer, it feels like these kids at 22 years old now are simply, they're better at reading defenses, they're a little sharper. It feels like to me in the last 7, 8 years, something is happening. What is that?
Yeah, I think the forward pass. I mean, you give all these 7-on-7 camps in high school, going into college, more teams are throwing the football. So the quarterback play is becoming more athletic, and the passers are better. It's that reading defenses at our level and blitzes and blitz pickups and those type of things that you still have to work on hard. But the talent levels is finally coming back.
Bruce, social media has distracted all of us, especially kids. I got a couple of them. Has social media made it harder to coach? Are kids as coachable as they've always been?
I think it's different in the classroom. I think the attention span, we walk through more than we ever have just to keep them active. We break up our meetings and do things to keep them focused. I think it's a different focus problem with the youth today.
Bruce, you're a veteran coach. Your opinion matters. Does your general manager, if you loved a player in this draft and said, and you and your GM maybe had a disagreement, I mean, who wins that debate in Tampa these days?
There's no debate. No, Jason and I, we're on the same page all the time, and we know what our team needs. And we stack our board so that we know we're going to get guys that fit what we're looking for.
And by the way, Bruce, I have to ask a personal question. You retired, you came back. How long are you going to do this? By the way, players are lasting longer. Brady's going to be 50 and in this league. Breeze is lasting longer. It looks like Andy Reid wants to coach, into his 70s. Belichick's nearing 70. Saban still looks like he's got a ton of energy. How long do you keep coaching? What will keep you around?
A ring. I want a ring, and we get one. I want 2. But that's it. I want to get a ring.
All right, Bruce. Good luck to you. Thanks to the Bucks for you stopping by today. Thanks, man.
You bet.
You bet. We were talking, Joy. We were talking about that quarterback thing about Dak. Think about this. Trust your instincts. Think about the last 7 or 8 quarterbacks that you paid, and all of us were like, I don't know. Joe Flacco after the Super Bowl, Kirk Cousins, Brock Osweiler, Nick Foles. Now, I didn't have a problem with Jared Goff's contract. Little high, but didn't bother me, so take him out. The last 4 I've said I don't like.
I really only have a problem with 2 of those.
I don't like any of them.
I don't love any of them.
Now, these were huge contracts. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, and Matt Ryan in 2013. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Which one of those are you not paying?
No, those are great. But I'm saying with Dak, I am a little uneasy at 33. I'm like, I feel it's a little Kirk Cousins-y.
I'm okay with paying Kirk Cousins. And while I felt like it was high, I'm okay with paying Joe Flacco, too. Nick Foles is obviously extreme. And, I mean, I think Osweiler goes without saying. But you have to pay your franchise quarterback.
I guess my point is, if your initial instinct is, I don't know, you may be overpaying them. Anyway, with Joy with the news.
No.